Behind the gleaming interfaces of global investment apps, an invisible war is being waged. It's a conflict fought not with bullets, but with data, deception, and desperation. At its heart lies a dark, sprawling empire of scam syndicates, holding thousands captive across remote border regions. This is the story of Myanmar's digital prisons, where the lines between victim and perpetrator are tragically blurred. We uncover the brutal truth behind the screens, the illicit networks, and the desperate fight to escape a life-ruining trap. How does a simple click lead to a hostage situation? Let's find out. The journey into these digital prisons often begins with a seemingly innocuous online interaction. Victims are targeted through sophisticated social engineering, tempting job advertisements promising lucrative roles abroad, or carefully crafted romantic overtures on dating apps. These digital invitations, appearing legitimate and appealing, are meticulously designed to exploit vulnerabilities and aspirations. It's a bait-and-switch operation executed with precision, where the promise of a better life masks a terrifying reality. The digital mirage is convincing, drawing individuals from across the globe into its orbit. Once ensnared, victims are typically guided through elaborate travel arrangements. These often involve seemingly legitimate flight tickets and bus journeys, culminating in a final, clandestine border crossing into Myanmar's remote, lawless regions. Traffickers facilitate the entire passage, often confiscating passports and phones under the guise of safekeeping or visa processing. It's during this journey that the first cracks in the facade appear, as victims begin to sense the gravity of their situation. By then, it's often too late, they are already deep within the illicit network's grasp, physically isolated and disoriented. Upon arrival at the fortified compounds, the full, chilling reality sets in. Barbed wire, armed guards, and constant surveillance replace the promised opportunities. Passports and personal devices are seized, severing any connection to the outside world. Victims quickly realize they are prisoners, stripped of their freedom and identity. These sprawling complexes, often hidden amidst dense jungle or along remote riverbanks, become their new, inescapable reality. The digital mirage has dissolved, replaced by very real, physical barriers, trapping individuals far from home and any form of legitimate help. The primary objective within these compounds is forced cyber labor. Victims are compelled to work long hours, often 12 to 15 hours a day, executing pig butchering scams. This involves building fake relationships online, grooming targets over weeks or months, and then convincing them to invest in fraudulent cryptocurrency schemes. Failure to meet daily quotas or reluctance to participate results in severe punishment. They are forced to become the very predators they once feared, preying on the hopes and trust of others, caught in a cycle of exploitation. Their screens become instruments of their own captivity. The targets of these forced cyber operations are not confined to any single nation, they are global. Individuals from wealthy nations, often middle-aged or elderly, seeking companionship or investment opportunities, become the unwitting pigs in these schemes. They are lured into relationships or high-return investments that ultimately drain their life savings, pensions, and inheritances. The scale of financial devastation is immense, with victims worldwide losing billions. This network operates without borders, exploiting the interconnectedness of the digital age to find new prey continuously, leaving a trail of financial ruin and emotional trauma. Every captive scammer operates under immense pressure to meet daily financial quotas. These targets are often unrealistic, forcing individuals to intensify their deceptive efforts. Failure carries severe consequences: beatings, food deprivation, or even transfer to more brutal compounds. The constant threat of violence ensures compliance, driving victims to work relentlessly, even as their conscience rebels. This system creates an environment of perpetual fear, where psychological torment becomes as debilitating as the physical abuse. The relentless demand for more money fuels the cycle of exploitation, pushing captives to their breaking point. Eyewitness accounts from those who have managed to escape paint a grim picture of daily life. Physical abuse is common, ranging from beatings with electric batons to water deprivation. Psychological torture is equally pervasive, designed to break spirits and enforce obedience. Victims describe being isolated, humiliated, and subjected to public shaming. The compounds are not just digital prisons, but places of severe human rights violations, where every day is a test of survival against unimaginable cruelty. The scars, both visible and invisible, endure long after any physical release, a testament to the brutal human cost. These scam syndicates do not operate in a vacuum. Reports indicate deep connections with local ethnic armed groups, criminal networks, and corrupt officials in Myanmar's border regions, particularly in areas like Myawaddy and Shan State. This intricate web of illicit connections provides the necessary protection, resources, and impunity for operations to thrive. The lack of effective governance and the ongoing instability in these territories create fertile ground for such criminal enterprises to flourish, allowing them to expand their reach and solidify their power. The local economy often benefits, further entrenching the system. The syndicates employ a sophisticated arsenal of digital tools. This includes custom-built chat applications, fake investment platforms, and databases of potential targets. Scammers are provided with detailed scripts and psychological profiles to manipulate victims, often using AI-generated images and fabricated backstories to create believable personas. The technology allows for scaling operations to reach thousands of unsuspecting individuals simultaneously. This advanced digital infrastructure is key to their success, turning the internet itself into a weapon against trust and financial security, constantly evolving to bypass new security measures. Beyond physical coercion, the syndicates engage in profound psychological warfare. Captives are frequently isolated, their self-worth systematically eroded. They are forced to engage in actions that violate their moral compass, inducing guilt and despair. Some victims, overwhelmed by the pressure and trauma, eventually succumb, becoming effective, albeit unwilling, perpetrators. This moral compromise is a deliberate tactic, making escape seem futile and further entrenching them in the scamming operation. The mental anguish inflicted is often more enduring than the physical scars, leaving deep, unseen wounds. Despite the constant surveillance, some captives attempt desperate pleas for help. These often involve secretly acquiring hidden phones or using brief, unguarded moments to send out messages to family or NGOs. The risk is immense, discovery means severe punishment. These whispers of hope are rare and often fleeting, traveling across vast digital and physical distances. They represent incredible courage in the face of overwhelming odds, a fragile link to a world that seems to have forgotten them. For many, these attempts are their only lifeline, their only connection to a chance at freedom. For those fortunate enough to have their pleas heard, rescue attempts are fraught with danger. Families often pool resources to pay ransom or engage with informal rescue networks. NGOs and anti-trafficking organizations work tirelessly but face immense challenges navigating the complex political landscape and the physical dangers of these regions. Each successful rescue is a testament to extraordinary effort and luck, yet they represent only a fraction of the thousands still held captive. These fragmented efforts, though vital, underscore the immense scale of the problem and the difficulty of providing aid. The consequences for failed escape attempts are brutal and unforgiving. Captives who are caught face severe retribution, often publicly, to deter others. This can involve prolonged torture, starvation, or being sold to even more notorious compounds, where conditions are reportedly far worse. The syndicates aim to crush any hope of defiance, reinforcing their absolute control. These harsh penalties serve as a chilling warning, a constant reminder that any thought of freedom comes with an unbearable price. The fear of these consequences keeps thousands in line, paralyzed by terror. The international community's awareness of Myanmar's scam syndicates and digital prisons has been slow but is gradually increasing. Governments and international bodies like the UN and Interpol are beginning to acknowledge the scale of human trafficking and cybercrime. However, coordinated action is hampered by complex jurisdictional challenges, political instability in Myanmar, and the transnational nature of these criminal networks. While diplomatic pressure and intelligence sharing are underway, effective enforcement and rescue operations remain incredibly challenging, leaving thousands vulnerable to continued exploitation, awaiting meaningful intervention. As global awareness grows, so too do the syndicates' tactics evolve. They adapt, moving locations, refining their digital tools, and finding new avenues for recruitment and exploitation. The invisible war continues, a relentless cycle of human suffering driven by greed and enabled by digital anonymity. The perpetrators remain largely unpunished, shielded by remote borders and corrupt alliances. The sheer scale of the operation, affecting both the captives and their scamming targets, underscores a new and terrifying reality of the digital age, that exploitation can be conducted remotely, with devastating, real-world consequences. The trauma inflicted within these digital prisons can create a disturbing cycle. Some victims, after release, struggle immensely with their past actions, the guilt of having scammed others, and the deep psychological scars. In rare, desperate cases, individuals who were once captives have reportedly been drawn back into similar illicit networks, sometimes out of a perceived lack of alternatives or continued coercion. The brutal truth is that escaping the physical compound does not always mean escaping the clutches of the syndicate or the psychological toll it leaves, making true rehabilitation a monumental challenge. The story of Myanmar's digital prisons is a stark reminder of the hidden dangers lurking in our interconnected world. Vigilance is our primary defense. Question unsolicited job offers, be skeptical of online romances that move too fast, and rigorously research any investment opportunity presented online. Understanding the tactics of these syndicates is the first step in protecting ourselves and our loved ones from falling prey. This invisible war demands our attention, for the battle against exploitation begins with awareness, ensuring that a simple click never turns into a hostage situation for anyone else.